Hello, everybody. Welcome to Math 1420 College Trigonometry. My name is Ryan Jones. I'm going to be the instructor for this course. And this video is just going to serve as a quick kind of intro to the course. I'll talk about it, what we're going to expect from you, what you can expect from me. But while doing that, I will go through our MyCourses course page just to familiarize you with it. I suggest you even follow along if you want, but it'll be hopefully fruitful for you. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So this is our homepage for our course, and the biggest and most important thing here is announcements. Currently, there's just this one announcement here that will be gone by the time the course actually starts, but as the course progresses through, I will post announcements weekly and sometimes multiple times a week, and you are expected to read these. You are expected to see these, meaning you have to be logging in frequently to see these. Sometimes I post very time-sensitive information, something that might require your action quickly, in maybe an emergency, something like that. So please check these announcements regularly. They'll give very important information and sometimes time-sensitive information. And yeah, that's all that's on our homepage. There's some other stuff here, but I'll let you peruse that yourself. I'm going to basically go through this top bar, and we're just going to click through a lot of these things. I'm going to do it in kind of a weird order. I'm not going to go left to right, though. I'm going to go kind of in terms of importance. Quizzes, there's not really much here. There's just one quiz, and this is really actually just a survey. I wish I could change it to say from quizzes to survey. But this is basically a survey for you on what format you want to utilize for your tests, whether you want to take your tests at home or whether you want to take them in person. So yeah, I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but I just want to start off with quizzes, quote unquote, to really emphasize that there's not really anything here. It's just a survey. And I want to then mention for the rest of this video and really for the rest of this course, when you hear me say the word quiz, 99% of the time I am not referencing this page that we're looking at. We have weekly quizzes on math content, and those are in a separate online platform where we do our homework, if you're familiar with My Math Lab, also called My Lab Math. So when I say quiz, I'm referring to your weekly quizzes. Unfortunately, not usually referring to this page that we're looking at. This is just a one-time quick survey, so there you go. So quizzes is there. Grades, I won't bother clicking on that, but that's where you would see your grades. And that's great. Class list, you can click on this and it will show you your classmates. You can directly message them through MyCourses. Maybe if you want to set up study groups, or if you have a question that you want to ask a classmate, you can go to the class list for that. Again, I won't click on that, but that is there for you. Assignments, I'm going to click here. Again, when you hear me say assignments, when you hear me talk about your homework assignments, this is usually not where I'm referring to. I'm referring to My Math Lab, which is something we'll see later. Here in assignments, this is actually just where you are going to submit your work for your exams. You can almost think of this as a Dropbox for all of you to give me your exam work. So as is hopefully clear, you will show your handwritten work for exams, and you will take a picture of your work. You'll combine it into a PDF. You will upload that here for me to then utilize to give you partial credit to just kind of help grade your exams more fairly. So again, assignments, not homework assignments, just you uploading exam work. And when you hear me say assignments, I'm almost always referring to your actual homework assignments, which are in My Math Lab. That right there brings me to content. This is by far the most important tab at the top here. So let's go ahead and click on that. Let's take a look. This is where you are going to find pretty much everything in the course. You can see on the left side here welcome, start here, welcome, schedule and syllabus, unit circle handouts, MyLab Math. These are what I call modules. So if you ever hear me say the word module, I'm referring to one of these. And you can see there's a lot of them, and that's just because we have a lot of weeks in this course, right? This is a 15-week course, and so I have each week's worth of material in a different module. There's some extra help modules and how-to videos down at the bottom here that you can take a look at. And at the top, there's kind of some intro, welcome things, stuff about our exams, stuff about our online homework platform, MyLab Math. So modules here on the left. And I'm kind of just going to go through almost all of these. We'll just click through them and we'll look at them. Right here this is last semester's video, but right here will be the video that you're currently watching, so that's not super important. Quick overview of the course, a little bio about myself if you are curious about me and who I am. Moving forward, schedule and syllabus. I think this is one of the most important, if not the most important module that we have. It shows the entire course syllabus and it shows the schedule for our course. I 100% recommend you print off this schedule and keep it, on your desk at home or keep it accessible, because that'll give you a quick overview of, week to week what you're expected to do. Clicking on it, we can actually take a look. It is fairly repetitive, but I kind of like that in an online course. I think it's nice to get into a habit. I think it's nice to, not really have many curveballs on, week to week come at you. So what you'll see here is that each week we typically cover 2 sections worth of material, sometimes 1. And in each of these you have homework, quizzes, and discussions. The homework and the quizzes are in this My Math Lab that I keep referring to and we'll look at later. And then you have discussions within MyCourses. And if you had a keen eye earlier in the video, you would notice up at the top here, discussions is really the last one of these tabs at the top that I have not gone to. That's something you're going to have to do week to week. You're going to have to access that there. We'll touch on that later in the video. Like I said, 2 sections per week, sometimes 1. Sometimes a week is just an exam that we have. So exam 1 is in week 8. We have spring break right after that. Exam 2 and the final exam are the last 2 weeks of the course. And in those weeks, you don't have any material to cover. It's just focusing on taking your exam. So you have the whole week to study, to practice material, maybe even catch up on other courses if you take your exam a little early in that week and you have some free time. If you notice these dates, I doubt you have a calendar right on you that you're looking at, but if you look at a calendar, you will find that nearly all of these dates for each week start on a Tuesday and end on a Monday. I have my very particular reasons for that. I've been doing that for years in online courses, and I find that it works the best. If you're curious about my reasonings, shoot me an email and we can talk about it. But week to week is Tuesday to Monday for the most part. There are some instances where that's not the case. For example, in week 8, it ends on a Sunday because spring break starts the next day. So I'm not going to make anything due over spring break. I'll note there, your exam 1 is due on a Sunday, so keep that in mind. But you do have the whole week. You can see you have from the 11th of March to the 16th of March to do that. This week starts on a Monday because it's right after spring break. And so, so on and so forth. For the most part, Tuesday to Monday, but there are some exceptions. So there's our schedule. Fairly straightforward to follow. Effectively, at the beginning of every week, every Tuesday, you'll have new material, new homework open up, and you can access it and you can work on it. And then that material is due by Monday. So there you go. Sweet. Let's go back to content. Let's keep going through these modules. Unit circle handouts, that's something for a particular unit in the course. I'm not going to bother with that now. MyLab Math. And again, if you've had a keen ear in this video, you've heard me say 2 different things. I've said MyLab Math and My Math Lab. And really what it is they changed the name a couple years ago, and I am just very much in the habit of saying My Math Lab. So I kind of interchange between both, not because I'm trying to, but because it's just second nature for me. So MyLab Math, My Math Lab, you will see this abbreviated again, MLM or MML. Again, just a habit that I'm trying to kick, but hard to do so. This right here is where you are going to access your homework and your quizzes and kind of your exams. Maybe I put an asterisk on exams right there. In here, there's some integration support that you probably won't need to bother with, but it's there if you need it. A link to the e-text, so you can click on this and you can access a textbook that we use for our course. A link to all of your assignments, a link to your gradebook in My Math Lab. This I don't think is too important. Your primary gradebook is up here where it says grades in the MyCourses gradebook. This one, not super important for you to look at. I'm going to click on Course Home, and I'm actually going to pretend to click on it. I already have the tab open. So if I click on Course Home, it opens up this page right here. And this will look a little bit different for you because this is my view of it, and I'm the instructor, you're the student. So this does look a little bit different for you, but you should see a list of assignments. You should see their due dates, if there are any due dates. You can click on them and you can start working on them. What's nice in my view, and the reason I'm showing my view, is that I can look at the assignment manager, and this shows really cleanly what we have each week. We'll touch on Honor Lock orientation quiz in a little bit, but I'll come back to that. But if you look at kind of where these sections numbers start, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, effectively for every single section that we cover in the course, there are 4 things for you to look at in My Math Lab. There's e-text and video links. This is not an assignment. I know it says homework, but it's not an assignment. There's no due date for it. This is just links to the textbook section and to videos that you can watch. I highly recommend starting with this. It's why I have it listed first. Before you try to dive in and do the homework without, reading the textbook or watching any videos, come here first. Concept overview exercises. These are a assignment that has a due date, and these are a prerequisite for the associated quiz. So you cannot, it won't let you access this quiz until you have done these concept overview. In addition to that, you have homework separate from the quiz. You can do or not do the homework. That's on you. Obviously, I highly recommend that you do the homework before the quiz, but you have a homework for every section. You got to do that. And then you have the quiz for that section. And then you can see it just repeats itself. 6.2 has 4 things. 6.3 has 4 things. 6.4 has 4 things. And this just keeps going. All of the start and due dates are each week, every Tuesday to Monday. And you just kind of keep doing this over and over. You will see we get exam 1. Boom, you have your dates. So you can access that here. And then at the end, as expected, exam 2 and the final exam. And there's also reviews for each exam. These reviews are completely optional, but they are available for the entire semester. There's no due dates on them. You're not graded on them. You can just use them as extra practice for the exams. So yeah, this is my math lab or my lab math, whichever you want to call it. Just kind of looking at all your assignments. So this is where you are going to be spending the bulk of your time in our course. So let's go ahead and go back. Let's go ahead, with that, I'm going to skip over exam proctoring info, and we'll talk about exams a little bit more in a second. But let's go ahead and click on just one of these weeks and just kind of see what it looks like. So let's click on week 3. So you can start by seeing the learning objectives. You can read a little bit about what you're going to be learning. You can see the assignments that you have for that week. And then where we go is sometimes there's some videos, some just examples or, mini lectures that I've put in here that will just help give you some extra, extra material for this content, extra, info. So I highly recommend you watch those again before trying to do any of the assignments. Right here, this is the same link as what we had clicked on before. This just takes you into My Lab Math, takes you to your assignments. I have that in every weekly module, honestly, just for convenience. That way you don't have to keep clicking back and forth between different modules. Lastly, what you'll see in here, and this is kind of grayed out because it's not available yet, but this is a discussion topic. And you are going to have discussion topics week to week. If I come down to like week 10, I think if I remember correctly, this is a great one. You have multiple discussion topics. You can see the 2 down at the bottom. You have the link to My Lab Math. And then, wow, look, there's a bunch of video examples, right? These should be super helpful. You can go through and watch these on, how to use a double angle identity or how to use a half angle identity, so on and so forth. So every one of these weekly modules looks pretty much exactly the same kind of layout. But now the question remains, what the heck are these discussion topics? Now, you can click on these when they become available within the weekly module, and they will take you right to the discussion topic. You can also click on discussions up at the top on the bar here. And if you do that, it takes you to each of these discussions. And for right now, you can't see the details about these because they're not available yet. You can see the dates. But when they are available, each of these discussions basically boil down to you reading an article, watching a video, posting a problem that you've done successfully for other students to look at, maybe posting a problem that you have not done successfully and you're unsure of where you've gone wrong, you need some help. These are discussions. They're discussions between you and your classmates and between you and me as well. I can chime in as well. And so with these, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to leave student view for a moment because then we can actually see what these look like. But in these discussions, this is where, I don't know if you want to call it the catch in our course. You might have been looking at the My Math Lab and say, I only have to log into this course once a week. Not quite. A lot of these discussions, I will require you to post a discussion post. That was redundant. To make a discussion post, but then also to reply to other students. And sometimes those posts, I require you to do them midweek. So maybe you do on like a Thursday or a Friday, and then you have to reply by the Monday, by the end of the quote unquote week. So you can see all these here. There's a bunch. I don't need to really scroll down through all these. Here's a great example of post by Thursday, reply by Sunday. This is kind of forcing you to at worst log in twice a week. I'm hoping that you're logging in more. The more often you're doing your math, the better you're going to remember it. But what this also does is because you have to make a discussion post by Thursday, you are kind of have to start looking at the material by Thursday. And so that's, again, that's getting you to not, slack off too much. And, when Tuesday starts, log on to spend Tuesday and Wednesday doing a little bit of work, a little bit of homework, a little bit of the assignments. That way you can make an effective discussion post. And the big reason why I do this Thursday to Sunday thing is so that students have time to reply by Sunday. If I let everybody post whenever they want, inevitably everybody posts on Sunday evening, and then nobody has time to reply, and that's not very fruitful. So, discussions. These are separate from My Math Lab, but obviously using the same content and material, but you'll find them right here in discussions, and you also find them within content under each weekly module. So there's that. Let's go back here. I'm going back to student view. I'm going to click on content again, and let's take a look at this exam proctoring info. So for our 3 exams, you have 2 options on how you take the exam. You can see them listed here. You can read through this, but I'll explain briefly. Option 1 is basically in the comfort of your own home, you can take the exam using a virtual proctoring software called HonorLock. HonorLock basically takes your webcam and it looks at you with your webcam, and it makes sure, it monitors your screen slash restricts your screen. It doesn't let you have multiple tabs open. It doesn't let you, go to the internet and, cheat and look up the answers or anything like that. It's basically a virtual proctoring where, if need be, an actual employee, an actual person will pop in and be like, hey, I noticed, somebody was in the background of your screen, helping you, that's not allowed, right? So honor lock is option one. This is 100% the most preferred option. It is way easier to set up than option two, but I do understand that some people don't like the idea of using a software such as HonorLock. If that is the case, reach out to me and let me know as soon as you can, because then we can start talking about how to work option two out for you. Before I explain option two, I'm going to go back here to the quizzes tab. This proctored testing form, this little survey that I mentioned before, this is basically asking you, do you want to use HonorLock or do you want to use option two? And option two is to take the test in person, and you have to do that by scheduling an appointment at one of the Front Range Community College testing centers. With this, I need to know well in advance if you're going to do this, because I have to communicate with the testing center. You have to make a reservation at the testing center. You have to go to the testing center at the appropriate time. I have to make sure that the testing center has access to the exam and that it's set up appropriately. You can kind of hear in the tone of my voice, option two is a lot of work. I personally don't recommend it for both our sakes. I think a lot more can go wrong than with option one with HonorLock. But again, I understand that some people don't like using something like HonorLock, so you're not forced to do that. Just let me know in advance if you're going to use option two. So with this, there's a whole lot of system requirements for HonorLock. You got to be in Google Chrome. You obviously have to have a computer of some sort. You need to have a webcam, all that stuff. There's a whole bunch of FAQs and how-tos and policies and all that stuff. The big thing here is the HonorLock dashboard. When you click on this, it will show you assignments that I have enabled HonorLock for. Now, you don't have to use HonorLock for your homework and your weekly quizzes, right? Just kind of the weekly stuff. You don't have to do that. But for your exams, you do have to use HonorLock. And so how this is set up, let's go back and look here at my math lab. Say you wanted to go take exam one and you clicked on it, a password pops up. It says, hey, what's the password for this? And I am not going to tell you that password on purpose. Because you don't have that password, you cannot access exam one directly through MyLab Math. However, if you click on the HonorLock dashboard, which I have open in another tab, it pulls this up. And you can see, oh, look, exam one. And on your end, you'll be able to start this, and then it will go through the setup for using HonorLock. It will make sure you have a webcam enabled. It'll have you close out all extra tabs, yada, yada, yada. And then it will take you to the page to access exam one. And HonorLock will type in the password because HonorLock knows it, but you don't. This is effectively just my way of not allowing you to take exam one unless you are accessing it through HonorLock and through specifically the HonorLock dashboard. So I put this in big purple. You have to click here to access your exams. That's how it works. You cannot access your exams directly. You don't know the password for the exams, and I am not going to tell you the password for the exams because HonorLock knows the password. So you have to kind of use HonorLock as a third party to access our exams. So there's that. You'll see the same exact thing for like exam two, HonorLock dashboard, right? I could click on exam one as well. I click on final exam, but HonorLock dashboard is right here. That's where you go. There's some info about it, the dates that it's available for, stuff about the time limit, what calculators you're allowed to use. One change is you are going to be provided a formula sheet whereas in past semesters or with other teachers, you were allowed a 3x5 note card, but I'm switching it up to a formula sheet. Again, I want to emphasize, you have to show your work. You have to show all of your work as if it were an in-person test, and you will submit that work as a PDF into the assignments folder up here, the folders that I have, that kind of Dropbox. So if you have questions on that, reach out to me, let me know. There will be plenty of announcements that talk about how to do that. That right there is honestly pretty much everything. I mean, just in kind of a quick recap, we've looked at My Math Lab, where you have your homework and your quizzes and your e-textbook. We've looked at HonorLock, where you access your exams. There's an orientation quiz. I should have mentioned that. There's a kind of a practice quiz for HonorLock that you can do just to familiarize yourself with how to use it. Again, you come to the HonorLock dashboard, you click on that, and you go here, and you start the HonorLock orientation quiz. So we've looked at My Math Lab. We've looked at HonorLock. We've looked at the discussions that you have to do, the weekly discussions, right? We've looked at the quizzes and assignments tabs up here. Quizzes really being a survey, assignments really being just Dropbox folders for your exam work. Otherwise, pretty much just content and just going week by week and working through everything. That's kind of it on the structure of the course. I think what I'll sign off with, kind of my sign off message here. I really want to emphasize that the person speaking to you now in this video is a person. I'm a human being. I'm here. I work this job, and I know that we don't really see each other face to face, but I am here to help you. I am still your teacher, just like if this was an in-person class. The only difference is we just don't have a lecture that we're meeting in a classroom for. But that does not change my availability to, for you. I am happy to help. Please, please, please. If you don't know how to do something mathematically, if you're having trouble finding something on our webpage, if you're unsure of a course policy, reach out to me. Let me know. I can help with the smallest things, even if you're just, forgetting what, 5 squared is. Shoot me an email. I can help you, right? It's my job. I've heard way too many students say that they feel like they're burdening their instructors or they're hassling them if they ask them math questions. That is 100% not the case. So please, 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 please. My email will be posted in plenty of places. It's on the syllabus. It'll be posted in announcements. It's just my name with a dot in the middle, ryan.jones@frontrange.edu. You are welcome to email me as much and as often as you would like. With that, I'm going to go ahead and close this video. I apologize if it maybe was a little long, a little longer than I planned on, but I'm excited for the semester, and I hope you enjoy the course. Yeah. See y'all.